What's up, everybody? My name is Key Air, and you are watching the important things that really matter. Today, we're going to be talking about encouragement for young black men. Encouragement for young black men. So, before I get into it, would you please like, would you please share, would you please subscribe, would you please hit the notification button, and we're going to get into it. Now, I put together, this is going to be a new series called Encouragement for Young Black Men. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself and what I did to become successful throughout the years, and so that you know that you can do it, because I'm no smarter than you. I'm no smarter than you. I'm no smarter than you. And so if I can do the things that I'm going to tell you, you can do the same thing too. And I'm going to give you a little bit of guidance and direction how you can go about being successful as a young black man. So I want you to look at me, see what I accomplished, and then after you see what I've done to accomplish things, I'm gonna kind of give you some step-by-step instructions on what you need to do to become successful. And part of becoming successful as a young black man is to know that the more education you have, the more money you will make. The more education you have, the more money you will make. The more education you have, the more money you will make. You got to have the mindset. You must have the mindset that you always are in the mode of learning and willing to learn and willing to sit down and read, willing to do whatever it takes to learn whatever new information or new materials you need to learn that will make you successful. And this is one of the main things you're going to hear as I'm speaking. You're going to hear me going back to school for this, or going back to school for that, or learning this, or learning that. You got to have the mindset that your mind is like a sponge, and you are to learn as much as you can about those things that are going to help you to be successful. You must discipline yourself to sit down and study and read. To be successful, you will many times have to take many hours of studying, many hours of learning. Look at the fact that you may have graduated or almost about to graduate from high school. It took years and years, 12 years to graduate from high school. Or if you're in high school right now, you're almost at the end. Don't give up. Don't drop out. Stay in school. You're almost there. If you're in the 10th grade, you only got 2 more years to go. Stay in school, graduate, all right? But you got to have the mindset, if you want to be successful, you got to have the mindset to always be willing to learn something, all right? So I'm going to tell you a little bit about my background and let you know that you can do the same thing that I did. And then on videos after this, I'm going to kind of tell you kind of step-by-step instructions of how I did the things that I did. And a lot of those things that I did entails staying away from people who's not doing anything with their life. Staying away from people that's their priority is screwing around with this woman, screwing around with that woman, screwing around with the other one. Stay away from people like that. Stay away from people that want to get high all the time, want to party all the time. Don't get me wrong, you're going to do a little bit of partying, okay? But don't allow no one else to pull you into that crowd to where you never get out of partying and chasing women. It's a waste of time and a waste of money and a waste of effort. Now, as I stated before, my name is Key Air, and in my lifetime, these are some of the things that I've done. I graduated from high school, all right? That was a big accomplishment. That's 12 years up under my belt, all right? You can do the same thing too. I went to a Big Ten university. I graduated with my Bachelor of Science degree, okay? I graduated from the Big Ten University. Then from there, I got into a management training program with the major Fortune 500 company. I was in the management training program and got trained so much. It was kind of like a 2-year program where I went around to different plants all over the United States to learn about their operations. I went to assembly plants, I went to stamping plants, I went to casting plants, I went to foundries, I went to transmission plants, I went to stamping plants, I went to manufacturing facilities for engineers. I went to at least 2 of those and spent time at each one of these different plants to learn how manufacturing goes and how all these different plants fit together to be able to make a car or be able to make a truck, okay? Did all those things, made it through that program, and then from there, I went on to be a supervisor in the engine assembly plant. And as I was a supervisor in engineer assembly plant, I had anywhere from 20 people to 50 people that reported directly to me. They reported directly to me, and some of the people were old enough to be my grandparents, okay? But they reported to me. I was their boss, okay? So I was a supervisor. I learned how to manage. I learned leadership skills by being a supervisor. I learned all these different things being a supervisor. And then after a period of time, I got promoted to be an industrial engineer in one of the major assembly plants. I was in one of the major assembly plants learning how to be an industrial engineer. Got into the plant. I started being trained by people that had 25 and 30 years experience as an industrial engineer. So as soon as I went into the plant, I not only I was given an extremely difficult area to run, the area to run that nobody else wanted to run, which was a trim shop. Very, very complex area, had too many problems. It was like one of the worst places to work in as an industrial engineer because it was just so many complexities in the trim shop. And so this was my area of responsibility. I had a great deal of responsibility. And then in addition to learning the jobs that were on the floor and handling day-to-day activities with the production, with production supervisors and the production manager, I was also required to go through launches. So I got immediately thrown in to be an industrial engineer and immediately thrown in to start working on launches of brand new vehicles that were coming into the plant. And so I had to work very, very closely with advanced manufacturing people and other engineers, other process engineers, product engineers, advanced manufacturing people to help them resolve their pilot vehicle build problems. So I got thrown into this huge environment. I had to learn all these jobs, and in my area of responsibility, there was almost 300 jobs that I had to learn. I almost had to memorize everything out of all those jobs, and I had to service the six or seven supervisors that were in the area, including the area manager. I also had to any problems that came up with any engineers that came in, I had that concerned anything that went on in my area of responsibility, whether it was process engineers or product engineers or things along those particular lines. I had to take care of them. And so while I was learning all these different things, I did that for about 2 or 3 years. And then after I got the job down pretty well, then I decided to follow after my passion, which was music. And so as I learned all this stuff and all this information, how to handle the area and how to take care of everything like I was supposed to, I went back to school to learn how to be a studio engineer. Went back to school to learn how to be a studio engineer. So I got into that program. That's while I'm an auto engineer at the same time. I'm an automotive engineer, and I'm going back to school to learn how to be a studio engineer so I know how to be able to handle analog equipment and digital equipment, which is what I did. And from there, after I got through the program, which took about a year and a half to get through the program, which as you can see, I've learned more and more things. At that particular point in time, I started developing my own business, started working on my own CDs, learned how to be a music composer, how to be a songwriter, how to be a poet, how to perform. I learned all these new skills. And so I started getting my business together and started booking myself different gigs and things along those particular lines. I had the opportunity to open up for Dr. Bill Cosby, The Last Poets, R&B artist Dwele. I performed for former Michigan Governor Jennifer Granholm. I got the opportunity to perform for the NAACP. I performed at many of the festivals in the Michigan area. I got the chance to perform with many of Michigan's top jazz artists in the Metro Detroit area. I did all of these things. And in addition to all that and starting my own business, I went back to school again later on. And then when I went back to school later on to pick up a skilled trade, back to school later on to pick up a skilled trade as a diesel mechanic. Now, I know I ran through a whole lot of stuff that I've done. Some person may say, oh, you're an overachiever. I don't really think so. But as you can see, as I'm talking to you, my mindset was always aimed and focus to learn whatever I was interested in, even stuff I was not interested in, even things I was not even really interested in, but I had to do those things to be successful. Like some of the things a lot of classes I took when I was going to a Big Ten university, many of those classes I was not interested in at all, but I knew I had to go through the process of learning about things that I don't particularly like to do so that I can get to where I want to go in terms of being successful. You follow what I'm saying? So I learned how to learn quick by being at a university. I learned how to absorb large amounts of information, learned how to discipline myself to sit my butt down for hours to learn something. And so I'm saying all these things and all these accomplishments that I have done in my particular life, even up to this particular period of time, has always went along with the mindset that I always had to have my mindset to be as a sponge, to be willing to learn whatever I need to learn, even if it was something that I didn't really particularly like at the particular time. But I learned those things so that it will help me get to the next level where I want to go. Do you follow what I'm saying? And I want to go back to say this, and which is extremely important and extreme emphasis, which is this: if I can do all these things, you can do those things too. If I can do all of these things, you can do all these things too. If I can do all these things, you can do all these things too. Now I'm going to cut this video short, and I'm going to go into the series, come back for parts 2, probably parts 3 or so, and I'm going to go into step by step what I did throughout the years. Because many times it takes years to be successful. It takes years and years to be successful. Success does not happen overnight. I was listening to one actor. The actor stated it took 20 years to be an overnight success. A lot of people think that he was overnight success when it actually took him 20 years to get there. So keep that in mind. If I can do it, you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it, because I'm no smarter than you. Discipline yourself, okay? So please like, please share, please subscribe. Come back for the next series of videos, and I'm going to go into some of the specific steps in which I went into to be able to accomplish all the things that I was able to accomplish, and for you to be able to accomplish the same things and even do even more than what I did. Okay, peace.